the skies are wide and the freedom stands, with a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky, in the heart of the 701 I feel so alive. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold side by side, with God on our blade and our hearts open wide. Ranching the fields, the cattle run free, with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. Rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fishing the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night, with every shot fired we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true, with family beside us we stand through and through. Guns in the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold side by side, with God on our blade and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values, our fate is revealed. With the word as our guide, we tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align. In North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around. From the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake, with God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71, forever we'll stand in the heart of our faith, in this great free
Alrighty, good evening, all my fellow MVEs. Brian, good to have you, and Lynette, thanks. Yeah, that song is, like I said, it's AI generated. I'm not a big fan of AI, but I'm telling you, they did a good job with that. David said he's over there on the gun bench putting a rifle together for the next state champion runner-up. Nice for Paul Metz, I think. Hey, Paul, good to have you on tonight. Got to get in touch with you, too, by the way. I got something cooking, but I got to get through calving season now, it looks like. Lynette, thanks again. Yeah, we love that song. Hey, Brian, good to have you with us tonight. And Krampus, Mr. Plum Creek Rancher, good to have everybody in. And everybody else that's listening, I see there's some over on Rumble. Twitter doesn't show up in my feed up here, but I see there's people over there, too. But it does not get the traffic it used to. So either we're being shadow banned over there, or I couldn't even tell you. But again, thanks for navigating and finding us on a Tuesday, the brand new night that we're going to be doing each and every week. Now, like I said earlier in last week, that it has to do more with the fact that I got involved helping and volunteering with a church youth group, and I just enjoyed doing that. They actually have a welding program, and they always have a nice meal and a service. So it's been really fun to do that and help out some kids. There's some great kids in there. There's also some with a lot of issues, and it's great to be there and help with them, even mentoring them and teaching them a skill. So I'm not the best welder, but the guy that runs that program, I help him. I'm more like the unpaid labor, but it's just, I do enjoy doing it. So again, thanks for doing that and migrating over, because this will be the brand new day for Guns in the 701. With that, I'd like to get started like I do all the time with an evening prayer. I think it's very important, and especially in the turmoil we see today in our world. So, Heavenly Father, I'd like to thank you again for a beautiful day and for all the moisture you sent our way. It was much needed and a blessing, surely, for all of us that are involved with ag. Thanks again, too, for a great calving. That was an interesting and long one, but thanks for pulling us through 2 days of a very intense calving around here and giving us a break today. We also want to ask that you watch over the men and women. So many of them have been put in harm's way, probably in the last 5 years especially, and we want to thank them for signing that check payable with their life. And when you think about that, they do it unequivocally, and they go because they believe so much in the founding of this country, which was God given to us. Also, watch over our brothers and sisters out there that are facing some hard times, and those that might be listening tonight. You know who you are. Trials and tribulations are given to each and every one of us. I have faced them myself, and we want to thank you for being there every step of the way with us, which makes us stronger in our faith, brings love into our heart, and also grants us forgiveness to each and every person that we come in contact with, just as you sent your only Son that we just celebrated to take the sins so that we could also be forgiven. Again, thank you, Lord. Please be with our leaders so they make the correct decisions and lead this country into your glory. In your name we pray. Amen. All right. So with that, we will get started. Of course, I got to start this out with the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And tonight, what I got in line for you, I'm going to try to keep this at just about an hour, a little over. Don't forget, scan that QR code, everybody, up there. For if you want to subscribe, you can do $5, you can do 10, you can do anything that keeps the show running. And again, of course, it's in support of the show, and in addition to our sponsors who have been fantastic over this past 3 years. But I'm going to be running down Secretary of War Hegseth. He put out a memo that's going to shift military base carry policy towards armed self-defense. Something new as far as what we've seen from administrations in the past. Also, the Firearms Policy Coalition has rated the states as to the freest to the worst. And I'm telling you, I'm sure you can guess already who's at the bottom of that list. Might be surprised where you find North and South Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana in on that list. And I'm going to go over that a little bit down and break it down. Hey, 18 Wheels, good to have you on as well. He says, is this a hostile takeover of JD's time slot? No, I actually visited with him, told him I was planning to do this. And I think he's going to probably do something on Wednesday nights. I think that was the plan that he's planning to do. So it wasn't a hostile takeover. No, it wasn't. Eric, good to have you. He says, good evening from the better half, the better of the Dakotas. Dan Brown, good evening from the Western Edge. Thanks, Dan. We sure appreciate it. And so breaking that down a little bit more. Also, we'll see how much time we have here, but I know I've got a couple other things. NRA, by the way, they've asked the question. Been a change at our United States Postal Service that you can now ship handguns through, which that should have always been. They're kind of a semi, I guess I'd call them, governmental agency. They're not really an agency. They're with the feds, but they're actually independent. It's a completely unique structure with the United States Postal Service. But you will be able to ship guns. We will see. I don't know why anybody would. I'm telling you. They can't even get a letter here. They can't even get packages here. And now with my area, my address has changed yet again This is going to be like the third time in what, a year and a half, which makes zero sense. First, they give us towns that don't exist, like Cedar River Township, not a real town. Then they can't decide whether they're North or South Dakota, even though we physically live in North Dakota. And then you got the zip code, the same zip code that it's been since it was assigned to Morristown, I suppose. That didn't change, which causes all kinds of havoc when you go to order online or even purchasing firearms, although we've worked through that for the most part. So it's just insane. So anyway, post office is going to start allowing the shipment of firearms, handguns in particular, but we'll go over that a little bit. And then I have a happy ending that I kind of like, but we'll see where this evening takes us. So I'm going to start off with Hegseth's memo. I'm going to get to a few of these comments first. Paul Metz says, hi. Hey, Dan. He's over at Dan Hager Television. He says, hiya, Doug. He says, even from the middle of the windier of the Dakotas, my goodness, did we have wind today. We hit 52 degrees, but it said the wind was blowing pretty good out of the southeast. Let's see. We got 18 Wheels. He goes, I sent a note in the Hegseth's office thanking him for standing up for the rights of our boys on base. Everyone should do the same. And you aren't alone, Dan, or 18. I'm telling you right now, I hopped on that Twitter feed, or X now. You are not the only one. People are very, very happy. You got the crazies out there that they're never going to love freedom, the Second Amendment, God, or anything this country stands for. So, of course, they don't like Pete Hegseth either, and they do not like that memo. Well, that says, my dad just got his happy Thanksgiving card from the granddaughter that lives in Naples, Florida. Isn't that insane? Yeah, it's a Thanksgiving card just now. Hey, Leon, evening from the actual Dakota, not Nebraska's high top fade. Whoa, I think that's a shot across the bow for Mr. Eric Newman. So I suppose he'll respond in kind. But anyway, just came across Nebraska here a few weeks ago, Kansas and in through there, which Kansas, by the way, if I remember it, I got to look at my list. Kansas is number one. It's in that number one spot on that Firearms Policy Coalition list. Kind of interesting as well. But anyway, so I'm going to start off. I'm going to play you guys a video that basically Hegseth put out, and then we'll kind of talk about it. So we will start off with that. Go ahead and take a listen.
Our great republic was founded on a simple yet bold idea. Our rights as citizens are not granted to us by government, but instead by God. 250 years ago, the Revolutionary War was fought to secure our God-given rights. The Second Amendment to our Constitution enshrines the right of all citizens to carry weapons to protect themselves, their families, and their fellow countrymen. The War Department's uniformed service members are trained at the highest and unwavering standards. These warfighters, entrusted with the safety of our nation, are no less entitled to exercise their God-given right to keep and bear arms than any other American. Our warfighters defend the right of others to carry. They should be able to carry themselves. Recent events like what happened at Fort Stewart, Holloman Air Force Base, or Pensacola Naval Air Station have made clear that some threats are closer to home than we would like. In these instances, minutes are a lifetime. And our service members have the courage and training to make those precious short minutes count. Before today, it was virtually impossible. Most people probably don't know this. It was virtually impossible for War Department personnel to get permission to carry and store their own personal weapons aligned with the state laws where we operate our installations. I mean, effectively, our bases across the country were gun-free zones. Unless you're training, or unless you are a military policeman, you couldn't carry, you couldn't bring your own firearm for your own personal protection on to post. Well, that's no longer. The memo I'm signing today directs installation commanders to allow requests for personal protection to carry a privately owned firearm, with the presumption that it is necessary for personal protection. If a request is for some reason denied, the reason for that denial will be in writing and will explain in detail the basis for that direction. Again, the presumption is service members will be able to have their Second Amendment right on post. Not all enemies are foreign, nor are they all outside our borders. Some are domestic. Confirming your God-given right to self-protection is what I'm signing into action today, and I'm proud to do so.
All right. You just saw it there. I mean, Secretary Hegseth signed that memo, and he made no bones about as to why. It should have been done years ago. It should have never happened that they created a de facto gun-free zone. But as we know, Democrats and commies love that. So, and if you saw who was running under the Biden years, and even in Obama, the Department of War, oh my goodness, those people had no business being near any kind of command whatsoever. So, yeah, Leon says that is awesome. Doug Wolf, Pete Hegseth for SCOTUS. Well, that'd be great, except I don't even know if I know he was a news caster. He was, I think, with Fox News at one time. But I don't know if he actually is an attorney, and I think that's one of the prerequisites. But hey, you know what? He can study just like the rest of us. And that says Pete rocks. He could play Kennedy in a movie right there. We need to find that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, Pete did a great job there, I think. We've seen this a lot. Think about this. As I said in my prayer, that you signed a blank check to the United States government and to all the people and the citizens of the country when you decided to enter up and be part of our volunteer armed forces, our military, to protect this country, protect its God-given rights and basis, the Constitution of the United States, in each and every one of us from all threats here and across in foreign lands. And you made it payable with your life. Think about that. And yet you can do that at 18 years of age. You're an adult at 18 years of age. You can be tried, prosecuted, jailed, all and punished as an adult. But yet an 18-year-old on a base, or anybody for that matter, nope, cannot exercise your fundamental right that you yourself are protecting on a military base. Yeah, I did not like it. I never have liked it. And I'm glad to see him do this. He did it April 2nd, 2026. And he completely directs them. He says the memo, which we heard him say, I'm signing today, directs installation commanders to allow a request for personal protection to carry a privately owned firearm with the presumption that it is necessary for personal protection. If a request is for some reason denied, the reason for the denial will be in writing and will explain in detail the basis for that direction. That's an important part of this. They can't just say, nope, I deny you. They better have good reason. And it has to be in writing and it has to be submitted, essentially. I imagine that under Mr. Hegseth, under Director Hegseth, that if you have a denial and you want to send it in, I guess that's your prerogative as a commanding officer. Probably better be really good and it better be rooted in a real reason. Otherwise, I imagine you might not be the commanding officer any longer at that establishment. That's my take on that. Some guys are chiming in. He goes, Dan says, well, Hegseth's order, can't even talk tonight. Hegseth's order is long overdue. Military personnel, like any law-abiding citizen, should not have to ask for permission to possess arms. Amen, Dan. Absolutely. That is a right given to us. It is not a right granted by government. We were born with it. The Constitution's very clear. Those rights were granted to us by our God-given existence. We already possess them. They are natural rights. You can't get them or have them granted by the government. Anything government gives you can be taken away and is a privilege at that point. That's why I've never been a fan of concealed carry permits. Granted, I had one for years because that was what we had to have. That was the baby steps. Wheels of bureaucracy move very, very, very slow. That was the baby step that led now to, I believe it's 29 states with constitutional carry. And every state has some form of a concealed carry permit. Yes, even New York and California, although I think New York's probably the worst for getting one. I think that's probably the toughest one. But constitutional carry now in 29 states. But that was all because of the work, myself included, when we worked on that. Getting constitutional carry was the end goal, and a stepping stone was concealed carry permits. But yeah, absolutely, Dan, I agree. You shouldn't have to ask permission. Leon says a thing that should have never been a thing. There you go. Like him dismissing the Hilo hat tip to Kid Rock. Yeah, I'm telling you, that was pretty cool that they did that for Kid Rock. and the left flipped out. Let me be straight on here. I'm wearing my Trump hat tonight because I still support Mr. Trump as our president, and I will never waver on that. Is he perfect? No. Was he ever going to be perfect? No. Trump is who he is. Was he the right guy for the job? Yes. Would you rather had Biden again? Would you rather had that kook Kamala? I mean, this country, we'd be in trouble. Big trouble. So is Trump perfect? No. But I still support the man, and I think he's done an amazing job in this first year. Has he gotten everything right? No. Who has? If you guys can name me someone who's gotten it right 100% of the time, I'm going to probably call you a liar because nobody does that. We are all imperfect. But with that being said, I think Trump's doing a great job. And those people that are jumping ship at the little bittiest quirk that they don't like personally, and they think that they should be doing it, well, give it a whirl. Put your name on the ballot and run. It's that simple. But I do love the fact that Hegseth is doing these things. You know, some of the online commentary on there, like I said, I went to the X deal. They had, somebody said, best Secretary of War ever. Another one said, this should have been done long ago, just as Dan commented. Detractors were the same old people. They're spouting off, you're going to have accidental shootings, murders are going to increase. Oh, you should have seen the one comment, and I heard this, that's from Brady Policy, I can't remember, but basically put out a statement that said suicides now are going to go up, and we already have a problem with suicide rates in the military. Well, I think that's mostly with the people returning home after their discharge, honorable discharge. We do. The Project 22 is a good example, trying to help them people. And I understand it. They're suffering because they come and they've seen probably some atrocious things. Different situation, and having your own personal firearms in the situation they're talking about, one does not tie to the other one. It's just the same old junk, plain and simple. Yeah, Leon, he says, a lot of liberal cities and liberal venues love pushing unconstitutional anti-gun restrictions. Very true. But here's the truth. All you really need is the Second Amendment and a good IWB or CCW combo, and you can carry pretty much anywhere you want. Ask me how I know. I might know a little something about that too, Leon. He goes without saying. That says 100% I believe in Trump. Leon says, yeah, screw those jerks. Hey, Jamie, 701 Nation over there. Good evening, fellow MVs, Ultra Mega. And Lynette says, I pray people step up for the midterms. Yes, I do too. I really do. I can tell you right now, it's going to be, I'm not going to say we're going to pull this off with flying colors. We've got a lot of states that haven't fixed anything yet in the voting rolls. So my advice to everybody in the midterms, get your mail-in ballots as much as I cannot stand them. Get your friends to get them, get their friends to get them, get your family member, get everybody their mail-in ballot. Across this nation, play their game. They created it, let's play it. One thing that's going to help, though, think about how many deportations we've had in the United States under this administration. I tip my hat to Trump for getting it done. That's going to make a huge difference now in United States voting. It just is. I mean, you had almost like a suction, just sucked right out of the nation. And that's a good thing that we got rid of a bunch of these people, even though think about all the people on the Democrat Party. Let's just call them out. That's who they are. They're Democrat communists. They wanted to keep illegal aliens in this country. They were fighting for them, not the citizens of this country. And that ties right in with the Second Amendment. Democrats are on the wrong side all the time. They want to take your rights away. They wanted to take the rights away of our serving men and women on our military bases, even though they give them a gun and say, go fight for your rights, but we don't trust you enough to do it right here. That's insane. It's just nuts as far as I'm concerned. I got to point out too that within this executive order, when I was reading it, you do have to follow the state laws when you're off the base. On base, which is the memo, and it applies to service members in their non-official duty capacity on Department of War property, meaning on base, within the United States. The question, though, of Second Amendment rights for 18, 19, 20-year-olds is still being argued in courts. We're seeing that I think Kentucky passed a law now. I don't know if Wyoming got theirs passed. I haven't been keeping up on it. I've been just kind of busy. I put this challenge out to North Dakota. 2027, pass a piece of legislation through the House, through the Senate, that restores the rights, not just of our servicemen and women, but the Second Amendment rights of every 18 to 21-year-old in our state. I'm pretty sure Kelly Armstrong would sign that. I have no doubt he would. That's just a fundamental right. You're either 18 and an adult or you're not. And I'm telling you right now, I know 40-year-olds that probably shouldn't own firearms, but they can. It's an arbitrary number, just like speed limits. And we ain't going to go down that one tonight. Oh, did I get zapped on YouTube? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Uh-oh, my volume's not on? It should be. Hey, can everybody hear me? If you can't, I don't know what to tell you. I'm reading through the comments here. Leon, he says, yeah, they drug their collective fleet on this for a reason. The deportee numbers are pretty big. Paul says he can't hear me. CommieTUBE just got shut down. Wow. Turn your volume on, Paul says. I don't know. Leon says, lost you on YouTube. Go figure. No sound on. Gone. Yeah, YouTube dropped for violating guidelines. Can't say suicide. Yes, I spelled that wrong on purpose. Well, head over to X. Head over to basically any of our other platforms. Go over to Rumble. I'm done playing the games of CommieTUBE. I am so sick and tired of that. I'm just done. I really don't care. I mean, you want to talk about an anti-free speech thing. There it is. If they want to do something, these private companies, by the way, owners of YouTube, which is Google, if they really want to stress that they're a private company, fine. Then quit taking the subsidies that you all registered for from the taxpayers. To me, that makes you an entity of the United States federal government in a way. You don't have any more rights as a private company if you're going to take that kind of subsidies. If you accept the tax money, then let's look at model it after ag. Those guys that take federal money when they're farming and ranching, they have to adhere. They give up rights to do that. So should Google on YouTube. It's enough for them. It's just they should be done getting this exemption and have to uphold the Constitution. Plain and simple. That's my take on that. So, all right, I'm going to get off of here. I'm going to go try to check out a few things on what's going on with CommieTUBE. David, if you know, shoot me a text. We'll take a look at it. We can do what we need to do. But with that, we're going to take a quick break because of it. That's pretty much as wrapped up on what Hegseth's done, and I want to thank, I'm sure he's not watching, but want to thank Department of War Secretary Hegseth for once again restoring the rights of the Second Amendment of our servicemen and women. So we will be right back. I'm going to thank some great sponsors who've been with us for a long time, and then some not so much long, but they've been hanging in there with us for at least a year or two on top of what we've been since LAUER Auto's been with us since the beginning. So we want to thank all of them for that. Here we go, guys. I'm going to play the long one because I want to go check all this out. We will talk to you right here, same place, right after the break.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul's, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton LaserCraft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton LaserCraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton LaserCraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton LaserCraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we are back. Hey, thanks to those of you who have found our other channels. Go over to the backup channel, Guns in the 701 Backup. And what it is it's actually used to be my personal one. There's the link there, right here, if you want to try and do it that way. Otherwise, just all you have to do is as I have in the comments up here, just search The Shootist 93, The Shootist 93, just like the old John Wayne movie. Search that out. You're going to see my ugly mug on there, and it is our backup channel. Go ahead and log in there, and the heck with these guys. I'm so sick and tired of these, of CommieTUBE, and have been for a long time. So just go to X. I mean, just pretty easy to find us there. You go to gunsinthe701.com, and it's actually at guns and spelled out the 701. You search that, you're going to find us over there very, very easily. So there we go. Thanks again to our great sponsors, Lauer Auto Repair. They've been with us since the beginning. Axe and the boys do a great job. Hey, spring is coming up, right? Might as well go in there and get a great tune-up, have a good once-over done, see what you need there. You can locate them at 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. If you remember where the old, well, I'll tell you what, if you know where Runnings is in Bismarck, just head north right there on South Washington Street. You're going to run right into Lauer Auto Repair. 701-258-6308. Again, 701-258-6308. So go check them out, guys. All right. Firearms Policy Coalition. Now, they're good. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They really, truly are. JD, Brandon Herrera and Grand Thumb said this week that YouTube was, blanking with them as well. Yeah, they've been hitting everybody again. They're running these AI algorithms. I appealed it. I went and looked at what they said. It said because we were handling firearms. I've had this up here for almost 2.5 years, ever since it was shortly after we started the show, Jamie, if I remember right, when we did this. And we're good. We weren't handling it, but AI flags it. Plain and simple, because AI is junk. That's why I cannot stand AI, and now that's the world we live in. And they just don't care. They do not care what they're doing. And I wish everybody would leave YouTube, honestly. That's why we're still there, because nobody will leave. Go over to Rumble. Rumble's up and running. Boom, I'm looking at it right now, monitoring. It's fine. And we got 2 of them over there. We've got Guns in the 701, and then we've got the first one that we made, which was Guns in the 701 Network. Go find them. It's pretty easy to find those on Rumble. Yep, over 2 years for sure. Yeah, exactly, Jamie. I know when we did this, when I put all that back there, but they don't care. What are we going to do, right? And that's what part of that is. But again, go over there and migrate over to the other CommieTUBE channel. It gets dings once in a while, but not as many. But if you go over there and find them, then you'll be able to see us on there again. And I know that a lot of people stream, and that's why they use X. You can't really stream on a Roku that I know of, but you can on YouTube. And I've been working on this, and it's a little bit more complicated than I thought, was to get the app created so that it can be put. There'd be a Guns and 701 app, and you'll be able to see it on a Roku anywhere you stream. You can head over to our website, gunsand701.com. We're up and running there too. But I got to remember, I don't really remember for sure. Oh, I might have to check that out here in a little bit. But, if I remember correctly, yeah, I think that comes right from the YouTube feed now, rather than from my own code here. It's my static streaming key. So I might have to talk to her and have her change that, because that's no good if that's what's happening. So, all righty, guys. So Firearms Policy Coalition releases their 2026 State Freedom Index. I wonder how our state done. It's kind of interesting to me how it comes out, but I'm going to throw this up here for you all to see. There it is. North Dakota comes out, which is interesting. They're kind of in the middle with an 86.36%. So what that means is that they come out in, I forget what the category was. I think it's free-ish state, which falls in that 80-some%. And the reason they got dinged on that pretty much was because of the questions that they asked or applied when they were actually doing this. Here they are, arms. As you can read, you can read some of this. Does the state prohibit or restrict the purchase, possession, or transfer of common handguns? No. And if you go through, we get perfect score there, right? Perfect score, no. Here's where it happens. Carrying, and we do have issues in this state. Does the state require a typical person to acquire a permit or license to carry a handgun in public, including vehicles for self-defense? Respond, yes, if both permitless and permitted carry are available, but a license allows for carry in more places. So this is a no, because in North Dakota, that part they got right. The permit does not allow you to carry in more places than the constitutional carry aspect of it. So that's why that's there. Does the state impose an age-based ban on the ability of 18 to 20-year-old adults to acquire a license or permit? Yes, they do. That gave them a mark. Does the state impose a ban on carrying firearms in places of worship? So yes, but there has been there is some grayish area there, but it should just not even be there at all. Does the state impose a ban on carrying firearms at government buildings other than schools, legislative, executive office, courthouses, offices, jails, prisons, mental, which ones, that are open to the public? Yes, they do. So that was basically the three dings that dropped them down to this 86.36% of being free. Acquisition, not a big problem here. You don't have to have a FOID card like you would have to have in Illinois. So that's not an issue at all. But it definitely, it's going to give you a little bit of an issue if you have to have a FOID card or want to buy ammunition, things like you're seeing there. So that's where we're at in North Dakota as far as our ranking. Is it horrible? No. Is there room to work on things? Absolutely. I've been saying that for years. Then I got some other stuff. Does the state require mandatory registration? No. Does the state lack strong state preemption? No. In fact, we've had a couple of court cases about that. So compared to other states, so here's North Dakota to Maine, right? Or let's see. Now you choose one. Which one do they have here? Oh, you just put one in here. So let's go here. North Dakota to South Dakota. Look at there. 90%. And North Dakota's not ranking real good with South Dakota when you look at it that way. South Dakota had 2 dings. 2 of them were the same as North Dakota. Here's the Minnesota. Well, that's pretty state of confusion. I like how they put that up there. State of confusion. If we go over to Montana, and I'm doing the ones that kind of we are neighbor, they're at 95%. Yeah, Montana's got pretty good laws. Wyoming. This one surprised me in Wyoming. It truly did. I really did not see that coming. So here's how it breaks down. Kansas is at 100%, and we'll grab their state too. New Hampshire's at 100%. You can just kind of go down and look at these as I scroll through them. Montana's there at 95, Texas 95, Georgia. I mean, there's a ton of them, 90 plus. And then it starts changing. Florida was a disappointment. If you look at North Dakota up there, South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, like I said, most of the states that we border, they all do real well. Florida actually has some crazy laws. They're good, but they're better than New York, but that ain't saying much, right? So Florida, New Mexico, Ohio, Oregon, Vermont, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota, Nebraska, Virginia are all kind of lumped in. So you know what, Floridians? Take a look at that. You're lumped in the same category, Minnesota and Michigan. Yeah, you guys got to pump them numbers up. Of course, you start at Colorado and just go down to California. You know, it's the who's who there. Colorado, Delaware. And we've seen some crazy stuff coming out of these states. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Washington, Massachusetts, Illinois, Maryland, Hawaii, New Jersey, D.C., New York. But check it out. California's at the bottom of the list, 4.55%. Think about that. 4.55%. Now, the 2 perfect scores, this one, that does actually kind of surprise me. And it's Kansas and New Hampshire. That one I really kind of was shocked to see that. I really was. I did not expect that to come out of there. I really didn't. But you know what? I guess my hat's off to both them states. Let's go up here and find Kansas. Right here. So if you look at this, they got a perfect score. They don't have any of these crazy things. You can pretty much do whatever you want there. And I kind of knew that from when I just took my trip through Nebraska and Kansas that it wasn't too bad there. New Hampshire is what actually I was surprised how good they actually were. Again, they don't have any of these restrictions either. They don't have state prohibition or restriction to purchase, possess, or transfer short-barreled rifle or a short-barreled rifle. I'm looking through. I thought New Hampshire. Wow, I was kind of shocked. Their carry laws are real good when I looked them up, and I'm just kind of going off their list here too. They don't impose extra requirements for licensing. So yeah, I was impressed to see that. If you look at here, Wyoming, we'll bring them up. Here's where they get their ding. Does the state require a typical person to acquire a permit or license to carry a handgun in public, including vehicles for self-defense? Yes, if both permitless and permitted carry are available, but a license allows them to carry more places. That's the catch right there. Allows you to carry in a few other places in the state. And South Dakota's got the same thing. Now, to me, is that a reason? I don't know. To give that ding. Because if you look at a state like, say, let's say North Dakota would happen to allow you to use your permit to carry at the Capitol. That would be a place where if you got the permit, then you could carry. Or in North Dakota, a good example is if you have your permit, it serves as the NICS, and you don't have to do the 4473. Maybe that's one of the reasons, too. They're kind of broad on if that permit allows you basically extra privileges, I guess a good way to put it. But I can't really tell you exactly how they rated all that. So, okay, he goes, yeah, Doug says, how did we get the same score as Minnesota? Well, Minnesota, let me go back here. I think they're just in the same. So North Dakota's at 86.36. Minnesota's at 77.27. So they didn't get the same one. But check it out. Yeah. Does the state prohibit or restrict the purchase, possession, or transfer of short-barreled shotguns otherwise compliant with federal law? Yeah, they do. Does the state prohibit and restrict possession or transfer of machine gun, automatic firearm that is otherwise compliant with federal law, like the NFA? Yes. This is where you get in trouble with Minnesota. State require typical person to acquire a permit or license to carry a handgun in public. Yes. Acquisition. Does the state impose a requirement for a license or permit to purchase or possess a firearm? That'd be like an Illinois FOID card. I don't know what Minnesota's is called. Does the state impose a waiting period? Yes, I knew they got one. I don't remember what theirs is. Prevents people from taking possession of a firearm for a specific period of time. Yes. So they got dinged quite a bit compared to North Dakota. They come in at 77.27, but they're all kind of lumped though in the same list. When you look at that list that they've got out there, that's how that happened. As far as, I'm just going to kind of review it here. I have it printed out as well. Yeah, you got North Dakota. Yeah, actually Minnesota's down one notch. So they kind of right up there with Florida. And Florida, did they earn it? Yeah, I mean, they have restrictions. Does the state impose an age-based ban on the ability of 18 to 20-year-old adults? Now, North Dakota's got the same thing, which is why they got a ding. Yes, so they got a ding. Does the state of Florida impose a ban on carrying firearms at governmental buildings other than schools? Yes, they do. Acquisition. Here's what shocked me. Does the state impose an age-based ban on the purchase of rifles, shotguns, and handguns or their ammunition? Yes, Florida does. Does the state impose a waiting period? Yes, they have one. I didn't realize that Florida actually had that. So that was good information to know, I guess, that there is issues that way. But I just thought I'd point this out to you guys because, man, I mean, I was shocked that New Hampshire and Kansas were number one with 100%. They don't have any of these restrictions that even us who are free states, we have issues to work on, don't we? I do suspect in 2027, being most states that have at least the people's ideas in store have been passing things. I think Kentucky passed one. There's been, I didn't go look it up. I can easily do that, but I didn't go do it. And they're planning to, I bet you they're planning to introduce legislation for 18 to 21-year-olds to be able to purchase and acquire and carry just as if anybody over the age of 21 could do. And that'd be a good thing. Here's Dan's got it right here. So class 1 and class 2 are treated the same in North Dakota. No difference in where, when, and how you can carry within your license. There we go. 18 to 20-year-olds can't get the class 2. There we go. That's, and like I said, I would like to see those rights restored for 18 and 20-year-olds. Leon says, of course we did, Doug. Did we beat South Dakota? No, South Dakota beat you guys as far as that went. South Dakota at 90.91, North Dakota 86. Not by much. South Dakota on the arms, they got it perfect. Carry, does the state require now? This is what dinged South Dakota is because they do have now. Oh, I can't remember what they're called. Maybe Dan, it isn't class 1 or 2, but they've got different levels of carry permits as well. And that was the only 2 dings South Dakota had. So that's why they beat out North Dakota just a little bit more. But if you want to check them out, I mean, it's pretty easy to go to the Firearms. I think it's called FPCFreedomIndex.org. And that will give you everything you need from the Firearms Policy Coalition. So, all right. I just wanted to cover that a little bit because I think it was important to go over that as far as where we're at. As we all know, North Dakota's got a Republican majority. In fact, a super majority, I guess you could call it. Doesn't mean it's a super majority of conservatives. I learned moved up here, or when I actually became a resident up here, and learned that North Dakota is not as conservative as South Dakota. It just isn't. I did a lot of work in South Dakota, and it just flat out isn't. And I think it has to do with your guys' open primary and no registration, which I'm not even going down that rabbit hole tonight. People can cross over. They got to vote in one party, but it's easy to do. Just vote down there and you can screw things up. You got a lot of Democrats that ran as Republicans that get elected because the voter base seems to just vote for the R. And it's not necessarily Republican conservatives who follow the platform, which you saw play out during the state convention, which 700 plus some people. I think we had 1,200 at the height when I was pretty involved, but that 700 plus is a pretty good number. And they're the people that are the base of the party. Let's just face it. Those guys and all our incumbents that skip, that was an insult really to those Republican members. I'm not talking about leadership. The members, the grassroots, nuts and bolt people that took the time, spent their own treasure to get up there and attend the convention for their state party to nominate their candidates. But they snubbed them. Really? So I guess you don't care about any of them people, and you're just going to go rely on maybe getting Democrats to vote for you, which does not make you a Republican. But I'm not. That's enough. I'm not going down that rabbit hole very far. If you want to be part of the party and call yourself a Republican, go participate if you can. Otherwise, I'm talking to the people who did not show up as elected officials holding office. Go change your party. You should have been there. Plain and simple. I tip my hat to those that did show up and did participate because they're the ones that actually talk to the grassroots people of the party and the membership base that showed up. It's that simple. And Matt, I think, is doing a great job. Tip my hat to Mr. Simon. Matthew, good friend of mine, and I think he's doing a fantastic job. Headley on fake news, yeah. He says, okay, Dan just said 18 to 20-year-olds can get a Class 2. Okay, so I don't know. I'm not that involved with North Dakota's. I should probably get one, but since we push through concealed carry constitutionally, I just don't care anymore. Eric says, yep, South Dakota beat North Dakota. Better the Dakotas here. As I bet Eric's sipping on his Pendleton 1910 as he's doing that. So, all right, we're going to take another quick break here. I think I'm going to go over. I got a couple things here. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll go over the post office stuff and kind of show you what's going on with that. Then I have a happy ending chronicle. Whatever I don't get to, I'll probably use on Friday morning. I didn't make last Friday because guess what? Cattle had a different plan for me that day. I had to go out and help and assist the cow. So when she was calving, so there was no way I was going to make it on Friday morning. So, all right, guys, we're going to take a quick break. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. Again, LAUER Auto Repair, one of our longtime sponsors, been with us from the very beginning. We want to thank Axe and the guys there, and that's why Guns of the 701 is powered by LAUER Auto Repair right down there on 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota. We will be right back after these messages.
LAUER Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at LAUER Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with LAUER, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. LAUER Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at LAUER Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's LAUER Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right,
Go where lemons go.
Kalon's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalon and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemmon. Kalon's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
All right, we are back, everybody. I just kind of was looking at the CommieTUBE stuff. they have decided they're not going to reverse it the way it looks. So I guess, very much I can do about that. They rejected the appeal, and they said, again, because of handling of firearms, which is not true, but they said it don't matter. With CommieTUBE, they do what they want. So the hell with them, I guess, and that's the way it's going to be, and I don't even cuss that much anymore. I was going to say, good to see you. You're back, Eric, but no, anyway, I'm telling you right now, CommieTUBE, but we got our backup, so we'll go with that. So earlier I said I'm going to talk about the United States Post Office. So there is some things you need to know. They announced that NRA asked a question, which was good to see that they actually pointed them out. I think that it's important that NRA stays very, very much involved, and they've been stepping up. I know a lot of people haven't been paying a lot of attention to them, but NRA's Frank Miniter, he actually asked, he says, okay, now that that's the ruling, the rule has changed, are they going to actually allow it? I'm glad to see them calling out. And that's what they did. They announced that, yes, you can ship handguns via the United States Postal Service. Again, why would you, the way they lose regular mail? But hey, it is a good step in the right direction. It does restore rights of the Second Amendment to the citizens of the United States. But, they call them a quasi-private entity, the United States Postal, which they are. But there's no reason that they didn't allow that. Just like I think it's a bunch of bunk that they're able to tell you can't carry in there. Why? It's not stopping anything. People are going to break the law and kill. That's what they do, right? All right. So when they ask the question, here's what they're saying. The post office actually now is saying that it's deferring to the Department of Justice's constitutional analysis of this issue. They defer to the OLC's judgment as a lawful scope for the criminal statute. Again, bureaucracy, right? Oh, we're not going to make a decision on it, but there has been a rule change. Restriction has been forced. They've been forcing gun owners into costly workarounds, such as going through FFLs, travel interstate, things like that. The basis, though, is that it was common at one time, big time, to buy firearms without a NICS background check, the 4473, just as it was common to buy a fully automatic firearm before 1934. And this is what I'm getting at. It all goes back to Bruin. If it has a historical common use and they were doing it then the Supreme Court says, hey, it is legal for a citizen. They worded that great because they were able to make a basis decision that's affecting just about every gun. Now, gun law in the books. You've got rogue judges that have no regard for the actual Constitution and the words within it. We just saw that play out with that Jackson. She's an idiot here lately in the questioning, especially over birthright citizenship. It's utterly insane, some of the ideas that the liberal justices have on there. And of course, I'm no fan of Roberts. I think he's a commie in a lot of aspects. We got two very good conservatives, and that's it. Like, Clarence Thomas is just a constitutional, his mastermind of the Constitution. So I love his constitutional analogies and judgments. But as you can imagine, gun control groups, they think this is going to encourage gun trafficking. They base this on a 1927 statute. And then it goes into the legal challenge of Shrevey versus the U.S. Postal Service to allow them to defend the statute. So they're trying to get the attorney generals by default in states to do this now. The 1927 law, it was supposed to, I guess, protect against trafficking. You think you're stopping that? They don't do it in legal manner anyway. It's stupid. If you can't have a gun or possess a gun, by stopping it going through the mail does not stop them from getting it. It's just that simple, and that's not what they're going to use anyway. So that's some of the obstacles they're going to have with this. You still got to follow the rules. You still got to have a federal law that doesn't allow you to purchase handguns, at least from that standpoint, without going through an FFL if you're out of state. The nice thing about it is, I guess if you want to save a little money, it probably might be cheaper to ship your handgun to a competition, possibly, across state lines rather than trying to use UPS, or I don't think FedEx does it. And the UPS, is a private organization, a private business. They got actually stricter rules on shipping firearms than probably anybody. So, I mean, it's going to be a good thing. Will it work? I don't know. We'll see how many people use it. My suggestion, if you're going to use the post office, get tracking, get insurance, make sure you know where that thing goes. I had a letter that actually floated away. It went all the way down to Texas. Then it went into Denver and sat in a bin as unclaimed, and then got shipped up to Minnesota and to Minneapolis from Denver. Finally, after 3 months, it finally made it here. Really? That's your United States Postal Service for you. Never did get to Bismarck, except when it left Morristown, it got there and it shipped off and it ended up in Texas. How in the heck did it end up in Texas? Don't know. Very good question, really. All right. Another one I'm going to quit going. It's going to top the hour here. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this an hour a little over. Florida passed a campus carry measure recently. It allowed college and university professors now and staff who volunteer to carry concealed sidearms on campus. Here's what's cool about it. Passed by 88 to 20. That's pretty resounding, isn't it? 88 to 20. I don't know if we could ever get a resounding result like that in our North Dakota legislature. And Doug says, meanwhile, Democrats in the House are trying to pass a bill that would ban buying ammo online. I know that it's completely retarded, isn't it, guys? I look at what the Democrats do each and every day. All they do is work to take our rights away or infringe on our rights, restrict us, tax us, regulate us, whatever they can do to make life harder for us. That's exactly what they do. The Florida laws stipulate that sheriffs have to assist school districts and boards and charter schools, governing boards, and now they have this is what changed it. The stipulation will include post-secondary instruction. They have to do it. They have to assist post-secondary educational institutions as described, and it's 1000.043 is the actual law on that. A guardian program under the measure, and they have to do it. Alan Gottlieb, he says, hey, he goes, this passage is legislation, is a much needed step toward improving campus security. Expands the state's guardian program to colleges and universities. He kind of goes on and says, we've also tried so-called gun-free zone campuses, and how's that been working, right? He says it's a failure. Last year's shooting spree at the Florida State University clearly demonstrated this. It's time to think out of the restrictive box and try a different approach, which is to allow volunteers to train and fight back. Okay. So everybody goes, oh, why don't they just pass and say you can carry there or you can use your permit and carry there? I get that. Again, as we did with concealed carry to work our way to constitutional carry, that took what, decade and a half, 20 years in some places. That's how you do this. Let's get this. Let's get it on there. So the colleges and universities have to allow the program to and be known about it. The sheriffs have to help these institutions that want. Show that it works, then you can take that next step. You know, we're just taking the playbook from the other side. They take little baby steps until they get what they want. Well, we do the same thing. He says all that's accomplished was to fool the people into believing some action had been taken while the body count climbed, and that's what they were talking about. It's clearly time for more aggressive strategy, which will enable trained faculty and staff who are strictly volunteers to provide another layer of security and safety. He goes, because their arguments haven't worked on the other side. Criminals are crazy people. They don't pay attention to gun-free utopian measures or any laws. Criminals are criminals by way of breaking the law, right? They don't care. So let's change course, give people at colleges and universities not just a fighting chance, but training and skills to intervene and stop tragedies. We can no longer afford to entertain the anti-gun sympathies of head in the sand ivory tower ideologues who are so afraid of firearms that they're willing to allow fellow staff and students to become victims in order to maintain their lofty notions of being above the fray. College and universities are not immune from violent crime. Maybe the Florida lawmakers will recognize this and get rid of these gun-free zone zealots. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I love John Lott Jr.'s More Guns, Less Crime. It's a great book. If you haven't read it, no, I didn't get any sponsorship from him, go read it. He lays this out. He wrote that thing 15 plus years ago, if not more. And I'm telling you right now, everything in there is still relevant. Everything in there is spot on. The numbers have changed because he took that data from the time of writing and printing. Go check it out because it is kind of true, the old saying. An armed society is a polite society. The people who break the law and use a gun for criminal intent, you're not stopping that. But those of us that carry because it's our right and we want to defend ourselves, we're not out there committing crimes. And I can tell you right now, one of the number one questions and this was in his book, when I asked the criminal, why did you choose this place or choose that target? He said, because there was no resistance. We broke in and robbed the place because there was no guns in the home. We went to the XYZ building and shot at people or robbed it because we knew we wouldn't be shot back at. I mean, they knew there were no guns there after they cased it out, so they went there. The people who carried guns, yeah, you don't see that happen. You don't go to an NRA banquet and see anybody trying to take that, do you? You don't go to the annual meetings and have how many gun owners carrying in the general area. There's some restricted places that have to be when there's dignitaries, but you don't see a big breakout of gun shootings at the annual NRA banquets when I don't know how many members show up. A lot of them armed. It doesn't hold water. It just flat out does not hold water. By the way, speaking of the NRA, annual meetings coming up, Houston 2026, April 16th through the 19th at the George R. Brown Convention Center. You're going to go to that if you can. It is the first time it's been in Texas. So too bad it's in the commie town of Houston, but it's got to have a big facility, lots of rooms. I have no clue if President Trump's showing up there. He hasn't confirmed. I guess one of the entertainers there is going to be Tyler Farr. I don't know who he is. I guess he's one of the new country music singers. I don't listen to the new country, but you're going to want to go check it out. Usually it's a pretty good time. I would highly recommend if you're able to go to it. Go see what it's about. Have some fun. It isn't going to hurt to do it. I'll go ahead and play their little video for you if you want to see. This was a recap from last year.
As long as men and women like you stand up for our Constitution, we will always have the right to bear arms.
All right, everybody. That was a recap from the 2025 annual convention. Go check it out if you're not an NRA member. You can become one pretty easily. Again, April 16th through the 19th. Great time down there. You're going to see a ton of cool stuff. They just had the board of directors elections. They're going to go ahead and swear those in at the actual annual meeting that takes place there. And I encourage everybody that if you're not a member, join. I'm telling you, NRA's had a change in leadership, and it's a good change. And they call it NRA 2.0. They got their own website for it. I would highly suggest you go and check it all out. By the way, Nate Brown, who was a field rep, and then there was some big layoffs during that big change. He's now going to be the advancement officer at the Whittington Center, and that's in New Mexico, which, oh, what a fantastic facility. I'm going to try to have him on. I don't know. We're going to see if we can have him on. We might do a special. He was talking about trying to do it right from the annual meetings. We'll see if we can make that happen next week. Otherwise, planning to have him in on the 21st, and he'll give us a recap of the NRA annual meetings. And he's just a great guy. I really enjoy his company and talking to him, and just a great all-around guy. And he's going to be working now as the advancement officer for the Whittington Center. So that's pretty cool. And I'll let him kind of explain what that's all about. I'm going to skip the happy ending. I'll use that on Friday. So I'll give you a little rundown here. Friday coming up, we have KFYR 5:50 a.m. I'll be joining Todd Mitchell on there at 7:15 in a.m. Mountain Time, 8:15 Central. Probably going to do my happy ending. I'm going to give you all an update. I wanted to do it this last week, but didn't get a chance to. And that's on this is on the Metcalf shotgun return. So Gabe Metcalf, you remember, out there in Billings, Montana, got arrested because he had a shotgun with him. He lived with his mother, was protecting her. They're on their own private property, and they do have an exemption from the gun-free zone that the feds have laid out. But they arrested him anyway, and it got finally thrown out after, 2.5, 3 years, finally. The whole thing has been dismissed. He finally got his shotgun back. I'm going to give you an update on there. Been following that story for 3 years, essentially. So I want to tune in for that. Got a great happy ending coming up. That one's going to be out of Kentucky. So in Kentucky, I didn't go look at there. I should have looked at that, but I'm going to give you a little update on that. Then Friday night, Blackbeard Logic, Leon Francis does a great job with that program. You're going to want to tune in for that. And that comes on at 5 o'clock p.m. Mountain, 6 o'clock Central. Tune in to Blackbeard Logic. Sunday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, Mountain, 8 in the Central Time Zone. Sunday Sportsman's Devotion with Pastor Vance Bishop. If you didn't catch his one last week, go check it out. That was fantastic. He does a great job on that. And I highly encourage that. And, of course, next Tuesday, it'll be me right here again, as it will every Tuesday. We enjoy I'm going to make that time slot. Doesn't look like it hurt us. Everybody found us. And there was enough people that let me know that CommieTUBE zapped us. So, yeah, that's how that goes. Let's see. Doug says, meanwhile, Democrats in the House. Oh, I've already read that one. Sorry. Hey, Jamie, thank you. Good show Friday. I'll be listening on Friday. And I think Jamie's probably going to do the show tomorrow night. He can confirm that, but it sounds like he's doing his show tomorrow night. I think we're just going to swap those 2 days, and it works out good for me. With that, everybody, I definitely appreciate you tuning in. I know it's a little shorter show tonight, but I got a couple things I want to go do. And time to check cows. I'm about 30% done in 2 weeks, a little less. So that's going really good for us. We should be done, and we should be on schedule in that first 45 days, which is that first cycle. I'm hoping to be 90+% done, and we're well on that road. A lot of great, nice calves. Had one that was really too big, and he didn't make it. But as the most part, we're staying pretty much 50-50 on our heifer to bull ratio. So I'm real happy with everything so far, and I appreciate everybody migrating over, seeing us on Tuesday night, and enjoying the show. All right, with that, I'm going to let everybody go. Tune in, support. Like I said, if you want, there we go. If you want to support the show, go over there, hit that, or just go to Guns&701 and find the subscriptions or the donations. It's really, really easy to find, and I thank everybody who's done it. You'd be surprised how much $5 and $10 adds up every month to keep the show running. We sure enjoy that. So, all right, with that, thanks everybody. God bless. Keep your powder dry. And we will catch everybody next week, but Friday morning on the airwaves, 5:50 a.m. KFYR with Mitchell in the morning, 7:15 Mountain, 8:15 Central. Also, check out our podcasts everywhere you find them, iHeart, Spotify, wherever we have them up there. All right. See everybody next week.